Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening.
Hello, morning.
Let's wait for 1 more minute and then we'll get started, guys. In the meanwhile, I'll try to share my screen. Okay, I think we can get started. So, good morning, everyone, or good evening, everyone. So, my name is Kiran, and I will be the trainer for accessibility testing course. And welcome to the day zero, which is the demonstration class for accessibility testing. While we also wait for other folks to join, let me quickly introduce you myself. Like I said, my name is Kiran. I have around 18 years of experience in the IT industry, having worked on multiple areas of software testing spectrums, starting from the regular ISTQB manual testing, and it goes all the way until the automation testing of front-end applications, automation testing of back-end applications, where the tools such as Selenium, Catalan Studio, Postman, Rest Assured, SOAP UI, Ready API, Catalan Studio are used. I'm also involved with performance testing of applications and APIs using tools like Jmeter performance testing. Then I'm also involved pretty much on the penetration testing and security testing of applications using tools like Z-Attack Proxy, Burp Suite, Snake Tool, Wookie, Network Mapper, etc. And also on the accessibility testing and usability testing aspects of our web-based applications developed using a lot of tools. And also involved with the DevOps tools such as GitHub, GitLab, Jenkins, Bitbucket, SourceTree, etc. So that's the overall expertise I have gained in my career, where I consult, where I provide my consultation services to a lot of corporates across the globe. I travel as well to provide these consulting services to them. I provide trainings to corporates and all these things. And when I have some free times, I do public batches the way I'm doing. And have been associated with Isha Training Solutions from close to 4 years. We have been doing a lot of such training programs and consulting engagements for corporates. And so that's pretty much about myself, guys, so that you know about the trainer. And I'm sharing my screen. Can anyone confirm if my screen share is also visible?
Yes, Kiran, it's visible.
Thank you. Okay, so whatever curriculum that we have developed, it's pretty much available on our website. And I will give this to you on the chat as well for your quick reference. And some basic information like what is the duration of the course, what are the timings, when do we do this program? I'll also answer that at the beginning of the call. So the overall course duration will be around 24 to 26, or maybe somewhere between 24 to 30 hours, I would say. And 1 hour per day, and Monday to Friday. And the timings will be 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Indian standard timings, the same timing that we are doing right now. And we have started today with day zero, tomorrow day one, then day two. So the course continues from today itself. We're not giving any breaks. Yeah. So if you come to this particular page on our website, we have given clear-cut details about the overall course curriculum. You can also find about myself written over here. And you can also read what exactly the course offers, the different tools that I'm using in this particular course. That is also available on the website. And you also have certain demo videos of my training, which I had conducted earlier. You can also go through them here, day 0, day 1 videos. And if I come down, yeah, so obviously the key takeaways of this course, right? The one thing that I can assure you is like at the end of the course, all of you will be pretty much comfortable and confident, understanding what is usability testing, what is accessibility testing, and how the approach has to be taken to conduct accessibility testing, and how much of manual test is involved, and how much of automation work can be involved. So that clarity is what you are going to have. And we are going to use a lot of tools in this course, not 1 or 2, maybe around some 8 tools I'm going to pick up. We can even increase it to 10. We can even increase it to 50 also. Increasing the number of tools is not a challenge, but once you learn the set of tools I'm teaching, which is almost 8 or 10, that will obviously give you the confidence to learn few more tools on your own, because the tools I'm teaching are the foundational tools and the basic tools. So the remaining tools in the market, they mimic the functionality of the tools that I'm teaching. So I've taken the best tools available in the market, which the industry typically expects everyone to use. Okay. And even in your resume, in case if you're looking out for jobs and you want to put this in your resume to highlight your key skills, these tools will definitely be acting as a search engine optimization. And the prerequisites for this course is someone who comes from manual testing background or development background or project management background. Someone who has worked in the IT industry even for 1 year, that should be more than enough. Or someone who says, I know the basics of testing, what happens, that is enough. You don't have to come with any development background or programming language background, because we are not coding anything in accessibility testing. It's all manual way, or it's all through configuration and automation process. Right? And we will take care of providing you the recorded videos for lifetime for the enrolled participants. On a daily basis, you get the class recordings, and they're available to you lifetime for your email address. And the material also is already prepared by me, and I'll be sharing it with you. I'll show you how the material also looks like, the notes that I have prepared, and something that I have been preparing on a daily basis. So if you see, this is the notes that I'm going to share with you guys. It's a document that I had prepared, very a detailed document, and you can see certain screenshots and detailed steps how to do as well. Okay. So that has been there for almost all the things. And people typically ask me, are there any testing scenarios that I need to keep in mind while testing accessibility? Are there any test cases that I have to keep in mind, or should we write? Obviously, the answer is yes. So I have prepared some general common test cases for accessibility testing and also testing scenarios that you can use in your projects, because these are reusable scenarios and reusable test cases. You can just customize it by spending like 1 hour, not more than that. That will be helpful to you as well. And I've prepared a separate document which has got a comparison of all the accessibility testing tools, this tool versus the other tool versus other tool. So that also will give you helpful understanding. Coming to the course syllabus, right? The main agenda of our demonstration class, I would like to help you understand what I teach in this particular tool, right? So we'll start off with making you understand what exactly is a software testing. And within software testing, we have so many categorizations like manual testing, automation testing, positive testing, negative testing, constructive testing, destructive testing. Then we have functional testing, non-functional testing, black box testing, white box testing, gray box testing. So I will start from that particular context, and slowly we'll boil down to what is accessibility testing. Because directly if I teach what is accessibility testing, certain prerequisites may not be clear. So we'll start from there quickly, and we'll boil down to what is the difference between functional testing and non-functional testing. Then where does accessibility testing fall under? Does it come under functional or non-functional? Does it come under black box or white box? Does it come under positive or negative, constructive or destructive? Does it come under manual or automation? So that's the categorizations we are going to do. And then we'll start focusing on the parent testing technique of accessibility, which is usability testing. So we'll understand what is usability testing, how do you measure it, and why are we doing usability testing? What are the disadvantages a company can have if you don't do usability testing, especially from certain countries like United States, United Kingdom, where the laws are pretty much developed to protect the interest of the citizen, right? So there are certain laws which helps the citizens to sue a company if certain aspect is not met. Okay, because all the users are paid users, right? So there you'll understand the importance of usability testing, and that's when I will introduce what is accessibility testing. So once we start talking about what is accessibility testing, we'll talk about the definition of it, the purpose of it, why the industry has designed accessibility testing, and what users are being targeted for accessibility testing. Meaning, are we doing accessibility testing for someone called Vipin, or are we doing it for Aarti, or are we doing it for Kiran, or are we doing it for someone else? So who are the intended audience for accessibility testing? And slowly we'll start talking about the the four accessibility testing principles. So there are four principles on which accessibility testing has been built, which we call it as four. So let me write it here. So these are the four principles on which accessibility testing is built. So P stands for perceivable, O stands for operationable, U stands for understandable, R stands for robust. So we'll spend some time understanding what are these four principles of accessibility testing. So accessibility testing is also written as A11Y because there are 11 characters between the word, in the word accessibility after A and before Y. So we also call it as ALI. So this is very important because the entire course that we have developed is based on these four principles. In this process, we will talk about how the the approach that we have to take for web-based applications where text is present, or the web-based applications where images are present, or the web-based applications where tables are present, or web-based applications where forms are present, or web-based applications where multimedia is there, or maybe some pictures, audio, video is there, or web-based application where frames are present, etc. So how do you conduct accessibility testing for a web-based application where text is involved, images are involved, tables are involved, like that? So that concept is what I'm going to teach over here. In this process, we will talk about again the WCAG criteria. Okay, WCAG typically stands for Web Accessibility Testing Content Guidelines. So WCAG is an industry body. Okay, we pronounce this as WCAG, WCAG. It is an industry body that has designed certain rules, or I would say certain success criteria, certain standards based on which your web-based applications or mobile apps or PDF content has to be developed. That's how WCAG has been developed. And within WCAG, we have different versions like 1.0 version of it. Then we have 2.0 version, 2.1, and right now, as we speak, 2.2 is the latest, and 3.0 is being drafted as we speak by the WCAG industry. So 2.2 is the latest. So we are going to talk about all these success criteria defined, in the WCAG industry. Okay. And in this process, we'll also start talking about area development, which is done by developers. ARIA stands for Accessible Rich Internet Applications. Usually, when a web application is developed, developers develop it using different front-end programming languages, such as they use HTML5, CSS, JavaScript. They use Angular, JS, they use React JS, they use PHP, Ruby on Rails, etc. So many programming languages are there. But all these front-end programming languages, they do not make your web application accessible in every possible scenarios. The applications becomes still handicapped and they do not be understandable or accessible to certain set of audience in the world. To make your applications accessible for every person in the world, a concept called ARIA has been introduced by WCAG. So we'll talk about what is this ARIA, how it is helping. Definitely, we are not doing development of ARIA because we are not developers and the course is not targeting developers, right? I'm going to introduce you what is ARIA and how ARIA is helping so that we can advise the developer saying, hey, if you use ARIA in the project development for front-end applications become more accessible, and we can give some examples for that. Okay. Let me take a quick pause here. Are you all following me until this point? Anyone has a question?
No, thanks.
Okay. Okay. So, and after talking about these things, what we'll do is we'll start talking about the success criteria as per WCAG guidelines for several use cases. So I will talk about keyboard users. So what we do is in this keyboard users topic, I will be showing you, or rather I will be writing and I will be proving it practically also, how your developed web application has to be made accessible for keyboard users. Now, why are we specific about keyboard users is, so there are people in the world who have got lot of disabilities, right? Not every person is an abled person. So you have two types of people, abled versus disabled, right? So accessibility testing is focused more at those people who are disabled from some perspective, right? So they might be cognitive disabilities. Cognitive disabilities talks about, their understanding patterns, their ways of solving a challenge, solving a problem. Maybe they're not, technically intelligent immediately. They need some time to solve anything. So they are disabled from a cognitive ability. There are people who have motor disabilities, which means they cannot move their hand properly, or they will have some difficulty working with the computer mouse. So for those people, they depend on keypad or keyboard, because though they have a physical mouse for their computers, they cannot use it because of that limitation in their hand. So they will be depending on keyboard for sure. Then there are people who have this disability of being blind. When I say blind, it can be partial blindness, full blindness, color blindness, right? And then people who cannot speak, who cannot hear, right? Meaning they have speech impairments, like that. So there are multiple categories that we can take from a disabled perspective. And accessibility testing focuses on those people who are disabled from these aspects. So right now I'm talking about a person who have a disability called motor disability, which means they cannot use their mouse. So for those users, what is WCAG industry telling us? So here this is focused on WCAG success criteria for keyboard users. So here I'm going to prepare a certain checklist and we will understand it, not just reading it, we'll understand it and we'll try to use it on one or two web applications practically and see whether it is working as per the WCAG guide list or not. If it is working, good, your application is accessible for keyboard users. Else, your application is not being accessible for keyboard users and there you found an accessibility testing bug, which will report it to your developer. So that is the first thing we are going to talk about, keyboard users. Then we are talking about screen readers users. Now, screen readers users means those people who are probably blind. When I say blind, they are partially blind, meaning they can see some part of the screen, but not the entire part of the screen. Like they can see only the center part of the screen, or they can see only the corner part of the screen, or they cannot see certain colors, or they might be fully blind. So how can that person use your web application? Now, in case if in our mind we say, okay, do you really think a person who is blind should be able to use the web application on their smartphone or on the computers? Of course, we are not here to discriminate, right? What the internet says is internet is for everyone. That is the fundamental aspect of accessibility testing. The World Wide Web is for everyone. The internet is for everyone, regardless of the abilities or disabilities, right? Meaning this internet is for all types of genders. This internet is for people who are technically sound and who are not technically rich. This is for people who have good internet versus the people who does not have good internet. So internet does not discriminate. It says the World Wide Web or the internet is developed for everyone. So your applications that you are developing either for smartphone users or web application users, your applications has to be developed keeping in mind every user in perspective. That's why the WCAG has come forward and defined a lot of success criteria. So we're talking about screen reader users. So people who are having that blind disability, they depend on some third-party applications called screen readers. Examples of screen readers you see I have written here: JAWS, NVDA, Narrator, VoiceOver, and so many other tools are also there. So those tools are installed on your computer and they help you with the part of reading the content of the text. So if I open a screen reader now, it will start reading what is this as I highlighted. So screen reader will say course syllabus, overview of testing techniques and methodologies, bullet point 1. So that's how the screen reader will read it. So a person who is blind can understand what text is present on the page. Is it a heading or a paragraph or a normal text? Is it inside a combo box or a list box or a drop down, or it is a normal text box? Is it a checkbox? Is it a radio button, or it is a normal button, or it is a custom widget like a calendar or a frame, etc. So screen readers software helps the screen readers users to read the content and take actions. Here also we are going to see the checklist related to screen readers and some examples of screen readers in the course. Then we have Zoom text users. Later we'll talk about color contrast users. Then text readability users. Like this, I can use so many examples, but I'm just giving you few in the demonstration class. So Zoom text users means they also come under the blind category. No, actually, we should not be calling them as blind, but people, who are having this sight issues, the eye sight issues, they probably cannot read this text, right? Example, if you look at this overview of testing techniques and methodologies, they may not read it because of the font size. So what do? They zoom it like this. So when they zoom it, we need to see whether our text is still properly visible or is application getting zoomed in and zoomed out. And during the zoom in and zoom out, there are so many other guidelines we have to follow. Like, is it breaking the text? Is it overlapping with some other text? Is a horizontal scroll bar coming unnecessarily, making it difficult for people to, go through it? So all these things will be there as part of Zoom text users. So this is for people who are having that eyesight. And that is also for people who have forgotten their reading glasses. Some people have reading glasses and they forgot probably at that time. So they have to zoom in and read the text. And this is also meant for people who are seniors, meaning senior citizens, like people who have completed their 60 years of age. They might have that difficulty reading the small text. So they depend on zooming the text and reading it. They use tools like magnifier, which the computer provides, right? So if I use magnifier right now on my computer, we'll talk about how magnifier will use it. You see here, as I mouse over, I'm seeing a screen on the top. So that's like mouse magnifier usage. And magnifier comes in different ways. Okay.
Play pause.
We can also increase the font size if you want. So that's the purpose of a magnifier. So we'll take care of these kind of tools while talking about Zoom text users. Then we have color contrast users. So these are the set of users who are having that color blindness problem. They cannot see red as red, or they may not see green as green. They might see green as blue. They might see red as yellow. So certain applications, they talk in colors. Example, will think of an application where it says, click on the red button to proceed. What if the person who is using the application cannot see the color red because of color blindness? So can he proceed with your application? Definitely no, right? Because he cannot see that color. So these kind of messages in your applications should not be allowed. That is what an accessibility tester will tell the developer. Your application should not be developed as custom or as color centric. You should probably say this as click on the submit button to proceed, because people can read the text at least. So your application should not be developed based on colors. That is one of the checklists I'm going to show you in color contrast. So after explaining you the detailed checklist for color contrast users, I'm going to show you how your application will look like for people who are color blinded. And as per science, as per doctors, there are 6 ways how people sees colors. So the different scientific definition, I mean, different doctor terminology definitions are there. I will show you all those things using an automation tool. And if I say that there is a person in the world who will see everything as black and white, for that person, how does your web application look like? You should also see like that person, right? Because when you are doing accessibility testing, you have to step into their world. You have to step into their shoes and see the application. The user, the accessibility test engineer may not be color blinded, but he or she will use a tool and see how that application looks like for color blinded people. And is every text visible correctly for them in that color blinded video or color blinded thing? Example, how does this green color button look like for them? So that also we are going to see by emulating everything using some tools in color contrast users. Then we have text readability users, meaning, is the text readable and understandable for every person? Okay. For example, you might see, there is a message here, call or WhatsApp this number to enroll for this course. Let us assume that the word enroll is difficult for Kiran to understand. So what does Kiran do? He will right click, he will click on search in Google, and the meaning of enroll will come. It means, okay, you have to register or you have to enter into an agreement kind of thing. Okay, now I understood what is the meaning of enroll. Like this, there might be certain words used in your web application which may not be understandable for every user. And I already said internet is for everyone. So whatever English or other international language you have used in the web application or smartphone, the words that you have used should be easy and common words for every person to understand. You should not expect the user to know that word for sure. Example, if I use this word in my development in my web application, I'm not sure if you are aware of this word and the meaning of it. If I say another word called okay, let's just restrict to one. So myriad means lot of. The meaning is lot of, or something like huge. Okay, so if I use complex words like this, the users will be scared, saying, okay, this application is probably for the high-end users, and that user might skip your application. You are losing a user. So that should not be the case. Therefore, we talk about text readability users, and there are certain tools available which helps us to figure out whether the application is readable, and that tool will tell and highlight certain keywords, saying, Kiran, myriad is a word that most people don't understand. Please replace it with a different synonym. And the tool only will suggest what synonym to use. If you accept it, you can tell the developer to change it. That is about text readability users. Okay. So in this process, guys, we are going to work with a lot of assistive technologies Like there are so many tools I'm going to talk about, right? That's what I have written here. And we will talk about the guidelines. We'll talk about how people who are having deaf issues go through your application. Deaf means, again, partially deaf, completely deaf. If they are partially deaf, they can use screen reader softwares or text-to-speech software also they can use. So for this also, there is a checklist that I'm going to show you. And there are certain softwares available where the users can use a text-to-speech software meant for deaf people so that they can understand it. Okay? And speech impairment, meaning people who cannot speak, nothing but dumb, right? But let's say they are writing an article on LinkedIn. They're writing a nice article for a website called medium.com. Right? So as they type, this software, text to speech, will start reading out, and you can adjust the volume of the software so that it can read it out loud for you so that you can understand what is being typed. And someone who is having speech issues plus this blind issues, and a person who is visually blind, partially blind, color blind, they are typing an article. So as they type anything on the document or as they type anything on the blog, this text to speech software will read it out what they are typing. So all the softwares that I'm talking about, all the checklists I'm talking about, they all work hand in hand against all these disabled set of people. Okay? And in this process, we are going to talk about a lot of tools which I have listed here. So I'm going to talk about tools like Lighthouse, which is from Google. Then another tool called Axe, which is from DQ Systems. Then Wave tool, then Pally tool, Andy tool, and so many other tools are there. IBM Accessibility Checker is also there, IBM tool. And then screen readers are there, such as NVDA, JAWS, and Narrator is there. Color contrast checker is also there. And in this, few of the tools are, they work both from all the tools that I'm teaching are GUI based tools, automation tools, meaning they have an interface. So you can run it from the browser and you can generate fantastic test reports also. You can generate the reports in CSV format, JSON format, HTML format, PDF format, and supply it to the development team. And I'm also telling you the non-GUI or CLI based automation tools. Example of those tools to mention, I'm teaching you Lighthouse tool, then I'm teaching you Pally tool, which they work from the command line interface and helps you in generating the test reports in the CSV, JSON, HTML, PDF. And these tools, we are also going to integrate with CI/CD tools like Jenkins and execute it from Jenkins as well. So this way you will be able to see full length automation as well. So overall, this is what we have in the course. If you see here, and the course duration is close to 26 hours to 28 hours, 1 hour per day. And all the material related to whatever I'm teaching, example here, I was showing you my notes, right? So if I do a Control F, yeah. So here I have written the details about the tool, how to use it, and how the command line interface will work. And the detailed steps also I have written, which I'll be doing it, of course, in the tool and how to integrate the pros and cons of the tool. Then another tool also I have given here. What are the steps you have to follow? And then Lighthouse tool to run it from the UI perspective, to run from CLI. What are the softwares you have to install? What are the commands you have to install? Everything has been listed here in detail. And similarly, if you have to integrate it with Jenkins, I've also written here how you can integrate your tool with the Jenkins. Okay, that also you can see clearly here, along with the diagrams and the detailed steps, along with screenshots. And this document, I will keep updating with every batch I do. I keep updating it with new steps or with new things that are coming up in the market. Like between the previous batch and this batch, I've added 2 more tools so that people can, follow up as well. Okay. So top 10 accessibility checks also I have written specifically that you can use as a quick smoke test list for your projects. Okay. Yeah. So that's all I have in this quick demonstration class to make you understand what we teach in accessibility testing so that you can take a very conscious decision of your enrollments in this course. Over to you guys. If you have any questions, please go ahead.
Hello, Kiran. Thank you so much. It's really a very good demo. We get to know. I have few
Thank you.
questions. I need to know like how we can do for the automation testing. Like we have a tool I know about the Selenium. Like we will write and it will automate the website. But how it will work for the accessibility? Like we have to listen it right, and then only we can. It's a manual task. How you are telling it will can be automated? That I just need to know.
Okay. So in case if our requirement is to do accessibility testing with the
Mm-hmm.
Selenium tool, if that is a requirement, we need to, the homework we have to do is find out one of the accessibility testing tool which has a library developed exclusively for Selenium tool. So there is a tool called Axe, which is developed by DQ Systems, and they have developed a library with nothing but jar files they have developed. If I
Mm-hmm.
put these jar files in Selenium, okay, I just have to put these jar files inside the Selenium under some path which the Axe systems have detailed in their documentation where to keep it. After
Okay.
that, I will write a simple Selenium script. And let's say the
Mm-hmm.
Selenium script simply says open a browser and take me to google.com. And then I will write one function, which is again given by Axe tool only, saying, just call this function, which is like do accessibility testing on current page. So we are not writing any code here. We are just writing the function which is given by Axe, developed exclusively for Selenium. So this code will be copy and paste. So I will give you that code to you, copy and paste. You have to write
Ah,
only the above 2 steps. Open a browser, google.com. After this, you might write a line that says generate a report and then close the browser. Once to run this on your Eclipse editor, this sequence of steps will run and then you get a report.
okay. For
So
are you? Mhm.
yeah, go ahead. You're saying something.
Yeah. So are we going to cover that in this
Yes.
syllabus?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Selenium portion with the Access systems, we are covering it because right now I have only one jar file with me for Axe given by Axe. So we can cover it. It is very easy. But just that you have to come with an understanding of what is Selenium tool, how to
I
install
know.
it, because I
Yeah.
cannot go
Mhm.
back to Selenium introduction, assuming that the participants are aware of Selenium setup, because the setup itself will take another 30 minutes of time. So if you have done that setup, I'll also give you some reference videos if you want. Anyone can do that setup easily. And then I will give you this code. You have to just integrate the code. So this code is important, whatever function. And the above 2 steps are, common steps. For your project, it could be open a browser, log in, and then in a particular screen, you want to do accessibility testing. For wherever you wanted to do accessibility testing, write those steps and you do this thing.
Okay. So like open a browser, google.com, and search and something enter, and then click on submit. Then also it's going to ask tool is going to generate a report like
Yes.
whether my this page is accessible pass or not, the accessible testing, right? That is the
Yes.
thing.
100. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And we have only this X tool. We don't have something else. Are we going to teach something else also, or it's a one tool that is all over?
No. When in accessibility testing, I teach a lot of tools. Like here you see,
No, for
we
the
have done
automation, I need to know.
for automation only Axe. I mean,
Okay.
integration with the Selenium. If you're talking about Selenium and one accessibility testing tool, it is limited only to Axe in the course.
Okay. What about the desktop application? But we have a desktop. How can we do for that then? Because Selenium is not going to work for the desktop application. It's only for the web. How can we do that? the accessible testing on desktop? Do we have some tool?
Without automation, you have certain tools developed here. Like you see the list I've given here, right? These tools are applicable even for desktop applications.
Okay, got it.
But
And
they don't involve any coding. Okay? See, automation typically has two meanings. One, you code something in Selenium. That is one meaning of automation. Another meaning of automation is configuration inside a tool so that it can do the homework and give you a test report. So accessibility testing in this course will be explained without coding, because those tools are already built with the needed coding. So you don't have to code anything. Just use the tool and find the bugs. It's all configuration based. So that is the automation in accessibility testing. But since people always relate it, the users always relate it with Selenium. So Selenium also offers a unique way of working with Axe tool to help you in this. And once you understand the logic how Selenium is working with Axe, maybe after the course, another tool comes in the market and says, we are also integratable to Selenium. You can easily understand it because the concept is the same.
yeah. And JAWS is a paid tool, so how can we learn it? Like you can show, but how we are going to do practically?
So JAWS comes in a 30 days free version. So you can use the 30 days free version of JAWS. Otherwise, NVDA is there. NVDA is also equally popular, and NVDA works same as JAWS. Otherwise, your Windows comes with something called a narrator. Mac comes with voiceover. So whether you learn JAWS or NVDA or narrator or voiceover, the concepts are the same. The functionality is the same. Just that the shortcuts will change.
Okay. So for Mac, we have a voiceover that you told. We have to download that. That is a free tool?
That's a free tool which is already there on Mac operating system. So you don't have to download it. It's already there.
Okay. Okay. I never used it. Okay. Okay. I got it. Thank you. Thank you, Kiran.
Yeah, hi Kiran, I have few queries actually. So, would you suggest any certification on this one? Like, simply we can clear so that it will give an edge on the when we go for the job market.
See, there is an accessibility testing course from ISTQB. So ISTQB accessibility testing. So this is the one that I can recommend.
Okay, okay.
This one, certified tester usability testing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here you can see this is the one. In software testing, any certification you go for, always go for ISTQB because it is recognized worldwide, and it will have that weightage. There are so
Yeah.
many other organizations that are providing it, but
Okay.
ISTQB is better. So this is one, and there is another company called vSkills. So vSkills is also there, which is India based, and they have visibility in the Indian market. Certified accessibility testing professional. You can also go through this.
Okay.
But ISTQB is recommended always.
Okay. And one more thing, Kiran. So, will you be helping on the resume preparation, like how the job market demands and how can we get more visibility on the profile, things like that?
With regards to accessibility testing, yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
So I'll also show you what kind of documents you will get from me. So assuming that you have enrolled in accessibility testing, this is the documentation I'm going to share. So I'm going to share you a mind map, which will help you understand the accessibility testing from a diagram perspective. Then you have quick checklist and test cases that you can use to test your applications. And in fact, these quick checklists will also help you in your interviews, and what test cases we should write generally for accessibility testing. I have written it here. And these are not specific to one project. They are common for any project. And these are the tools available. And I keep updating this list every time because there are thousands of tools. Whatever tools I explore, I just keep it over here. And here I have mentioned which tool is for which part of accessibility testing. So if you see a tick mark here, it means ColorZilla is for color contrast ratio checker. So here you will see the list of all the tools. So this quick Excel sheet will give you the edge report on that.
Okay.
And then the notes which I have said, and what type of test reports we generate. You see, these are the reports we have generated in the previous batch. HTML reports are generated, tab separated values report generated, JSON reports, CSV reports, XML reports, excuse me, MD reports, PDF reports, Excel reports. Different reports are generated for different requirements using different tools. This is only for your use understanding purpose, how the report looks like. So you see, this is one report we have generated. Just see how the report looks beautifully. We didn't configure anything. Okay, we did not write all these tabs. It's all generated. And don't you think your developer will be super excited to see a detailed report like this? So this is the folder structure that I'm going to give access to you for our batch. And whatever new things I'm doing in the course, that also will be updated in this particular folder.
I have two more questions. In this Isha training, this is first time I'm hearing that. It's going to give us a certificate also, right? That is also from ISTQB, right? Or no?
No, the course certificate you get from Isha team is a course completion certificate.
But that is not related to ISTQB?
Yeah, it is nowhere related. It is just giving you, I'll tell you the reason why Isha is doing this. In certain organizations, they have this reimbursement concept. And they say, hey, I have paid some X dollars and I have got the certification. I have completed the course. They need an evidence. So this course completion certificate from Isha team to you will help to get back your money from your organization if that policy exists in your company. That is reason one. Reason two, for aspiring, persons who are looking out for jobs, they also need an evidence that they have completed a course, right? Just by telling that you have completed a course, not everyone just believes that. So you can tell them, hey, I have this certificate from them. You can in fact call back them and verify, because certain organizations call back and check whether did Aarti really complete a course, and Isha team answers those questions by checking their records. So that is the purpose why the course completion certificate is being given. So let's not compare it with ISTQB, because ISTQB is like you write an exam and then you get certified. But this is, you are not writing an exam, you are learning.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
this
but
is
still
the
we
course
are
that
getting
you
it, right? Some certificate, we are getting it at the end.
Yeah, you'll get at the end.
Okay. It's a general question, like, is the accessibility testing in demand? Because, in LinkedIn, I didn't find any job for the accessibility testing. Do we have this testing in demand, or it's like a combination of some testing?
See, the answer depends on multiple factors. It is, I cannot comment on the word demand because the skill is very rare. Accessibility testing skill set is very, very rare and niche skill in the market. Not many users are aware of accessibility testing. The reason is, probably I'll take your side, it is not in demand, let's say. So it is not in demand, meaning the number of test engineers who knows accessibility testing is limited. Suddenly a company comes and says, hey, we are developing a project for United Kingdom or for United States, where the client there is the government and they want us to do accessibility testing. So they have to hunt for accessibility testers in the market, but the skill set is very rare. So your chances of your profile getting picked up is more when you know a lot about accessibility testing and generate reports the way I have shown you.
Okay.
Right? Something like, I'll take a small, funny example. This is summer in India. And obviously in summer, everyone knows that their air conditioners has to be cleansed. They have to get repaired. They have to apply, get new, what do you call, the new gas. The gas refilling has to happen. And if someone has got that air cooler, it has to be repaired with new cushions, everything. Now this is the time where those people demand more money, right? Because they know that without air cooler or air conditioner, you cannot survive in your home in this for 3 months of summer. So
Yeah.
instead of charging you the regular 1,000 rupees, they will charge you 2,000 rupees because
Hmm.
they know your necessity. And in your area, if there is only one guy who repairs, you have no other option because you cannot take your air cooler to 3 kilometers and 5 kilometers, right? Because this guy stays in the next lane only. So based on the demand and supply, things changes. Like the cost of getting repaired, something increases. Apply this funny example to accessibility testing or any other testing technique for that matter.
Yeah. So
So
these reports are automatic, right? And right, this report for automatic. I don't need to write everything in the Excel. It's going to generate automatically.
yeah, everything automated. You will
Oh.
not even write one line of code. I'm telling you, right? In the course, even I will not write any line of code because
Okay.
all the tools are already developed. So I don't
Hmm.
have to worry about writing the code. It is like purchasing an air conditioner. Once you bring an air conditioner to your home, your job is only to switch on the plug, switch off the plug. Here also same. Start the tool, start the test, stop the test, generate the report.
Uh-huh. So mostly the accessibility testing will come at the end, right? When our website is ready. That means like a contract job, like a, for 1 month, do the accessibility testing. What I understood, because it comes at the end. It's not like a API testing in the middle, right?
Hmm.
That is the main role for the accessibility testing, right?
True, that is also true. But these days, every organization is taking a shift left approach. Shift left approach means going one step back wherever possible. So therefore, certain organization says, I will not wait until the last phase of development for accessibility testing. I want this to be conducted along with functional testers, which
Mm-hmm.
means when your automation team is doing testing or when your functional testing, manual testing team is doing testing, parallelly they might hire some accessibility tester, or they might ask one of the internal guy only, you also start accessibility testing right away and report the bugs so that the front end can go through those changes. So based
Got it.
on the project methodology used by an organization, the answer will be coming to you. When do they do accessibility testing? But we cannot generalize that only in the end we should do. At least in the interviews, we should say that it should be part of your software testing lifecycle and conducted in parallel to regular manual testing.
Okay. Okay.
Because at least 3-4 web pages might be developed. So for the developed web pages, we can start off with accessibility testing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when we are going to start this course, from tomorrow, or
It started from today, so it will continue. So tomorrow you will have day 1, then day 2, then day 3, like that. It continues. The
okay,
course is already started from today.
okay, okay, Kiran. Thank you so much. You answered very patiently my questions. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. How about others? Do you have any questions on accessibility testing? And in case if you don't have questions, pretty much okay. But trust me, this course is going to be very easy, and you will learn a lot of tools. And during the course only, you will master the tools. And probably by the end of this course, maybe 1 week of effort you have to keep. After that, with the confidence, you can put it on your resume, whether you are looking for a job or already working in a job, saying accessibility testing is another skill set I have. And with these tools, I can definitely do accessibility testing, because this is very interesting course, not as complicated as, let's say if I take Selenium as an example. Selenium is like 100% complicated. This course is just 5% complicated. That's the comparison I can do. But yes, a must skill to have in the industry where a lot of job crisis is happening right now, right? Because of the war that's still happening between Ukraine and Russia, and with Donald Trump's new policies, a lot of jobs are at stake. So people who are having a niche skill will probably get the opportunity in the right place at the right time. So you can do your homework. And if you have any questions further also, please feel free to WhatsApp me on the chat. I'll just post a message on the chat asking for your feedback. That's my WhatsApp number as well. You can WhatsApp us on the chat to get more questions as well.
Thank you. And I have one other question. Tools that you are going to teach, are all these tools are going to work on Mac? Because I want practical knowledge on tools. All the tools are going to work on Mac, or I need Windows?
No. The tools have both combinations. Like one tool may not have an equivalent version in Mac. So the tools I'm taking, right? I'm a Windows user, as you can see now. All the tools that I'm showing will definitely work on Windows. 80% of those tools will also work on Mac. That I can give guarantee. 100% I cannot give guarantee, because if the vendor is not providing a equivalent Mac version, then you may not be able to do that. For that, we'll find an alternative.
Which are the tools like JAWS? JAWS, you already given me the alternative. Which one?
VoiceOver. No, JAWS is available for Mac also. Otherwise, there are few tools which works on your Firefox browser and Chrome browser. So that should not be a problem for Mac. So I think 90% of the tools should be working on your Mac for sure. I'm just taking 10% as an exception.
But the report and all, I can generate it or no?
You can generate. That
On
has
Mac?
nothing to do with your operating system. Yeah, you can generate on Mac also.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, guys. Thank you then. I'll catch up again tomorrow. So please talk to Isha team and complete your enrollments. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kiran. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.